What's up, guys? Welcome back. This is episode 4 of my experiences staying at the Govardhan Ecovillage in Maharashtra, India for their 300-hour yoga teacher training course. It's been super busy, so it's been a few days since I posted an update. I think this is day 4 of the course, but you lose all track of time when you're staying in an ashram. It's really nice. So I have no idea what day of the week it is, what the date is, but I think it's day 4 of the course. Let me show you a couple of the scenes from the past few days, and then I'll talk more about my updates and revelations and things that have happened over the past few days. The course has been extremely busy so far. I wake up at about 5:15 in the morning, start the day with my herbal medicines, some breathing, some light movement, and then at 6 we start our asana class, our yoga class. There's maybe like 30 people in the course for this first week, and then some of them drop out. But the asana class goes for about almost 2.5 hours. It's classical hatha yoga, so there's no flow to it. It's not at all like what most yoga experiences are like in the West. It's individual poses, and you hold each one for a pretty long time, sometimes as much as 5 minutes in one pose. And that's because that's how yoga is meant to be practiced per the original books of yoga, the Yoga Sutras. Yoga is not meant to be a physical practice, or at least not only a physical practice. The point of it is to train your mind. And so when you hold the poses for longer, you have an opportunity to scan your body internally, right? To notice that your mind has wandered and bring it back to the pose, right? And it's basically a moving physical meditation, right? And so it's there to build a mind-body connection, to practice focus. It's not there to really train your body. That's just a byproduct. By the way, if I look oily, it's because I'm putting coconut oil on my skin every day. That's one of the remedies that they recommend for Vata. If you don't know what that is, go back and watch episode 3 where I talk more about my trip to the Ayurveda clinic. But making sure that your skin is well moisturized and oily for a Vata is very good. So that's why I look a little shiny. After the 2.5 hour or so asana class, go to breakfast, very, very simple. And then I take a power nap for about 15-20 minutes. I've gotten very good at taking naps. And then we start our lecture. This week is all about the chakras. So it's been really powerful. It's a really interesting topic. If you don't know anything about the chakras, stay tuned. I'll dive deeper into them in future episodes. I'm also going to put together an online course to go through all of the chakras, explain what they mean in very simple, practical, applicable language, and then give you tools and prompts to help you better understand them, how they manifest in your life, and how you can become a better version of yourself. So stay tuned for that. But after the lecture, we have a yoga nidra session, which is a really powerful tool. It's basically a nap. It's a yogic nap, but you're trying to straddle the line between you're not quite awake, but you're not quite asleep. And in that state, your subconscious mind is very pliable, and you can implant affirmations in that space, almost like the movie Inception, right? You're in that space where you're receptive to new information. And so we're using yoga nidras to initiate deep mental healing. After the yoga nidra, we've been doing these role-playing exercises where we basically act out various scenes for how chakra imbalances actually manifest in our lives. So things like people-pleasing or living in fear, extreme shyness, how childhood trauma affects us today. So it's been interesting. It's fun. It's out of our comfort zones, but it's been really cool. After that, we break for a couple hours for lunch. We have some mandatory journaling that we have to do, which usually takes me at least an hour and a half. Like, I'm a reflective writer, like I journal a lot, and it takes me a really long time to get through all these journaling exercises, but they're really powerful. They brought up a lot. Then I take another power nap. At 4 p.m. we start another movement class. So at times that's been a dance therapy for our sacral chakra. It's been play. We went to the playground and played for our inner child. We did like a specific yoga class yesterday. And then there's various healing rituals as well. So we have done like inner child meditations. We did a fire ceremony and fire ritual to break some emotional blockages yesterday. So it's been really powerful. It's a really good mix of philosophy and lecture with practical application. So it's been really powerful. It's brought up a lot of emotional stuff for me and the other students, which leads to some of the other revelations that I wanted to share from these first few days of the course. Almost everyone in the course so far has had extreme migraines and other physical illness symptoms. Like at least 75% of the course have been experiencing this stuff over these first few days. And that's not a coincidence, right? We all carry around a lot of baggage in our day-to-day life, right? Toxins from the unhealthy foods we eat, the polluted air and water that we intake. We have emotions that we hold on to. Right, and that's because we don't generally have a lot of time to sit and process and release all of that stuff in our busy day-to-day lives. Right, so when you end up in a space like this, where it's like big, beautiful, healing nature, like really pure, healthy food, lots of movement, it creates an opportunity for your body to actually heal. Right, you finally have the space, you're away from the stress, so you can release all of that stuff. But that release is not pleasant, right? From a physical perspective, it's often migraines and physical pain and flu-like symptoms, or you get a cold. This is very common for really busy people who go on vacation and they immediately get sick because your body's finally relaxed enough to do all of that healing that it's been neglecting. Same thing emotionally, right? When you get in that space, you might find yourself crying, right? Having all of these emotions come up. Right? It's because you've been repressing all of that stuff. You're not able to express it in our day-to-day lives. And so you need time to release it. And that's kind of the whole point of this. It's why I'm in the process of building a holistic healing retreat center in nature, is to create space for people to have that full, deep cleansing so that they can truly holistically heal. I used to work at a sports medicine facility in San Diego, California. And the people there would come to me with their physical issues, right? They'd have chronic low back pain or sciatica or frozen shoulder or any number of other things. We would do all of this work, 90 minutes on the table, and they would leave feeling completely pain-free a lot of the time. That's a huge win, that's a huge success. But they would get off the table and they would go right out to sit in busy rush hour traffic. They'd get home and have all of their chores and to-do list and homework or work stuff that they've taken home with them, right back to their busy, stressful lives. They never have the opportunity to release the deeper stuff that's lingering below the surface. And I'll just say it, every chronic physical issue, whether you're talking about low back pain or sciatica or frozen shoulder or chronically tight hips, pelvic floor issues, sexual health issues, hormonal issues, autoimmune disorders, allergies, all of that has a deeper mental and emotional component. And so you can do all of the physical healing that you want. You can go to the chiropractor, you can get massages, you can do physical therapy, and that might work actually in the short term, right? But those physical symptoms tend to keep recurring when we don't allow space for the emotions that are below the surface, right? There's the book, The Body Keeps the Score, that's become very popular in the public consciousness lately, which talks about how we repress emotions and store them in our fascia. And when we release the fascia, that comes with an emotional release if we have the time and space to allow for that. All right, so in addition to all of these students having migraines, almost all of us have had powerful emotional releases, myself included, right? There's stuff that maybe we're not even aware of because we've repressed it. We didn't notice it because we were rushing around, right? But when you create space, those emotions can come up and be released. And that is a huge part of the healing process, not just from mental and emotional stuff, but also from physical things, right? So for me, like my shoulders, my neck, my belly, my hamstrings, all of that feels so much better. And in part, that's because of the diet. In part, it's because of all of the mental and emotional work that we've been doing, right? But it's part of the process. So if you find yourself with chronic physical issues, you might need to explore more of the mental and emotional. And on the flip side, if you find yourself with chronic mental and or emotional health issues, right, all of that stuff has a physical component. So you might want to start by taking better care of yourself physically, right? Commit to a movement practice, commit to cleaning up your diet, breath work. All of that stuff will support the mental and emotional healing. So it's all connected. And then we've had just lots of concrete examples of that, myself and in the other people. So one of the things that I wanted to share. Look at how beautiful. Those afternoon movement and healing sessions run from about 4 to 6:30 p.m. And then we have a break, we have time to go get dinner. And then there's optional evening activities, right? There's religious like fire ceremonies, which is really cool to see. I don't really know what's going on, but it's good energy. There's singing and dancing. It's called kirtan, which is also really good, fun energy. Or you can just kind of go wander through nature as I'm doing right now. I've spent this entire 4 or 5 days barefoot. Haven't put on shoes a single time. It's been amazing. It's just like really good connection to the earth, which in itself is healing. So that's it for this update. Stay tuned where I'll go more in depth about the chakras. I'll show you around the permaculture and sustainability aspects of this place. We're going to go on some day trips and some hikes, so I'll report back on that. But the past few days have just been so busy that I haven't had time to record, but we have an off day coming up, so you'll see some more in the next video.